the outer layer of the heart. Myocardium is the thick muscular layer. Endocardium is the innermost layer, lines the chambers. Next you have the inferior vena cava. The inferior vena cava comes through right here and empties into the right atrium. Superior vena cava empties into the right atrium as well. Where is the right atrium? Fossa ovalis is this white circle structure inside the atrium. Pectinate muscles are these ridges on the outside of the right atrium. To leave the right atrium, you have to go through the tricuspid valve, which is right here. On the end of the tricuspid valve, you have all these little white structures. They're the chordae tendineae, and they're attached into the ventricle by the papillary muscles. And then you have the right ventricle. Inside the right ventricle, you have all these muscular ridges. This is the trabeculae carinae. Once you leave the right ventricle, you go through the pulmonary valve, through the pulmonary trunk, and out the pulmonary arteries. You have a left pulmonary artery, and a right pulmonary artery. So you go from there, you go into the lungs, and then you come back via the pulmonary veins. You have the left pulmonary vein and the right pulmonary veins. And that empties into the left atrium. Then you go through the bicuspid valve into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, you go into the aortic valve, which is deep in here, and then up the ascending aorta, aortic arch, and down the descending aorta. You have the ligamentum arteriosum, which attaches the pulmonary trunk to the aortic arch. On top of the atria, you have the auricles, which is the right auricle, the left auricle. You have the coronary sulcus, which separates the auricles from the ventricles. It starts here, wraps all the way around. Then you have, anterior interventricular sulcus, which is this groove right here. Posterior interventricular sulcus is this groove in the back.
Depending on our mood, I guess. No, you will be tested.
For the arteries and veins, you have the right coronary artery, which comes around down.
They're pretty similar, but
you have the posterior posterior interventricular artery, which runs in the posterior interventricular sulcus. You have the left coronary artery, which is just this little section right here. It branches into the anterior interventricular artery and the circumflex artery, which wraps around. You also have the marginal arteries, which are these branches off of the right coronary artery. For veins, you have the great cardiac vein. It starts in the anterior interventricular sulcus and wraps all the way around to the back of the heart, where it meets with the coronary sinus, this broad and thickened vein. You have the posterior cardiac vein.